On August 10th, earlier this year, it was officially announced that Atlético de Madrid and Riyadh Air are joining forces to become the club's main sponsor with a multi-year agreement. It was Riyadh Air's first sponsorship since its official launch in March 2023. So in addition to Riyadh Air's presence on the men's first team kit, the strategic partnership will enable the airline and the club to reach millions of fans worldwide. The airline is scheduled to begin operations in 2025, connecting the kingdom's capital to more than 100 countries around the world by 2030. And to hear more about this strategic deal right from the source, it is in this dynamic roundtable, we are honored to be joined today by experts from the field, and this panel is in partnership with Senn Ferrero.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks to World Football Summit for the invitation to conduct this interview with my dear friend Miguel Ángel, the CEO and main shareholder of Atlético Madrid, and Tony Douglas, CEO of Riyadh Air, a Saudi public investment fund subsidiary. Atlético Madrid is one of the top 10 European clubs, and Riyadh Air is a first-class international airline who will be operate over more than 100 different destinations in the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Europe, and America. His first flight is planned for the second quarter of 2025. Atlético Madrid and Riyadh Air have signed an agreement to be the main sponsor of Atlético Madrid for the next years. Today, we want to interview both parties so that they can explain us what is the goals of both parties in this brand association. Let me ask some questions for both parts, but before, we are going to show several videos from both companies and as an introduction, because it's worth 1,000 words than a video. Go ahead with the first video, please. I don't know if this is possible. The second video of Riyadh Air, please. Okay, Miguel Ángel, let me ask you something. Your first question for you is, how was the idea of Riyadh as main partner of Atlético Madrid?
First of all, thanks for coming here, all of you. And it's a great pleasure for me to be with my friend, with my partner. And the main reason, the beginning is first, the country, because this country is amazing and I have a very nice memories from I was a child, because my father had a very nice relationship with King Fahd, and I had in my mind always, I would like to do something in Saudi Arabia. Second, of course, you, because it's not easy to find in the world a guy who put the passion you put when you explain the plan. It's not just your plan, of course it's your plan, but it's Riyadh plan, it's country plan, and it's amazing the passion you put. And third, the sector, because at the end, it's true that world is global, is connected, but it's totally different to be connected through internet, social media, or presentially. And I'm sure many people like me prefer the life experiences, to can see, to can touch, to can smell, and the only way is traveling. And through a plane is the best option for me. You can do it. Is the reason when you explain me your project, I had in that moment just not an idea, an obsession to get on in your plane and make this journey together. It's a great pleasure for me.
Okay, Tony, how did you perceive the Miguel Ángel about this agreement between both parts?
So I think first of all, I've learnt a lot about brand from Atlético de Madrid. So you probably spotted it already, red, white and blue. Red, white and blue. So the shirt is on brand, the tie's on brand, the jacket's on brand, it's your brand. And what an incredible brand Atlético is. And we're absolutely humbled and honoured to be associated with that brand, this incredible sporting club. But if I may, let me explain a little bit about our motive first. We are a startup. It's the biggest aviation startup within this part of the world in over 30 years, since Qatar Airways. And over the last 9 months, it's been about building a brand. The brand is Riyadh. The brand is Riyadh. The brand is Riyadh. It's the name of the capital city of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and it's the name of the new national carrier. It's the intent of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as part of the 2030 economic diversification strategy to build that brand all around the world, and we will be one of a number of channels to fulfill that ambition. Our brand Riyadh stands for 3 things: an obsessional attention to detail with guest experience, a true digital native, perhaps I'll come back to that later, and to be a thought leader when it comes to commercial aviation sustainability. What we saw with the Atlético brand was one of the finest sporting clubs, in our opinion, in the world, that is a real digital thought leader. They have been so progressive in the space of digital engagement, tick with our brand. They're obsessional with performance and the detail that goes with it. Tick, it goes with our brand. Their environmental sustainability story, in my opinion, in sporting industry is second to none. Tick. But the cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake for us, is humbly you, sir, Miguel, an absolute gentleman. And I think, like everything in life, you can do a textbook analysis of what you think you should do, but at the end of the day, things are meant to happen when it feels right. It's nearly always about people. It's nearly always the way they connect, the way their values, their behaviors feel right. And for us, Atlético feels like family already, And again, we're humbled and honoured to be in this relationship. When we first spoke, interestingly, was when I was still with Etihad. I couldn't wait to get back into that conversation with Miguel so we could become proudly the shirt sponsor. And I'll finish as I started, red, white and blue. There you go, red, white and blue.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Miguel Ángel, how was the partnership started?
In my opinion, it's a great challenge for both, for Tony and me. Why? Because at the end, it's a great country. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is huge, huge expectation, huge resources, and the company is new. So it's a great challenge. It's a great opportunity, but as well, it's a great risk. Is the reason I put an important commercial team, marketing team, because we should put the 5 senses in this project and make a good job. At the beginning, we decided to create like 2 different phases to announce the agreement. The first one was during the pre-season. In the tournament we made through South Korea, in Seoul, Mexico, and US, because my idea is to can offer you a global impact, and in my opinion, we did it. And second phase in Madrid. So for me, it has been very important the starting and the future. And after, I think he will ask me something about the future.
I don't know if it's available, the video of the partnership announcement of this agreement. I don't know if it's possible. No, there are no? That's not possible. Okay, it was good for you. Tony, how was your landing at the club? Because it's not so easy that the beginning and the startup, no, it's not the startup, but the beginning of the life of Renader goes at a club, a very top club as Atlético Madrid. How was the landing?
So I think, you know, what unites everybody in this room in particular, but I think many people around the world, is a passion for sport and the excitement that it brings. And of course, we all know what it feels like on match day, the anticipation, the nerves, the excitement, you know, the build-up. And it was actually no different from when we went from shaking hands to the details behind our agreement, but having the joy of being able to do that in Madrid, in the incredible facilities that Miguel's got, with the team he has around him, which again, in my opinion, is absolutely second to none. But it was a function again of seeing how this could work for both parties. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as I'm sure many of you know, has a population whose average age is 29. The average age of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is 29, and it has the highest iOS Apple usage per capita anywhere in the world. So by definition, it's digitally native. The people here, average age 29, run their world largely on Apple devices. They love sport with a passion, like we all do, and they engage very much in a digital way. So as Miguel has already mentioned, there was a bit of a tease and a reveal how we went about it. The pre-season was fantastic because we teased it through all of our social media channels, something big's coming, and it really just built that momentum such that when we first revealed to everybody that it was a sports sponsorship deal with Atlético, it just went viral. Certainly here in the Kingdom, it went absolutely viral, and it's done so ever since. As an employment proposition, we're only 9 months old, Riyadh. We've been in the public spotlight for 9 months. We have had over 1 million people coming onto riyadh.com to formally apply to become a member of our family. And I need to give some credit to Atlético for even things like that, because exciting brands that come together, it's not just all about the blindingly obvious. It goes into employment motivation. I want to be involved in something special. I'm attracted to things that weren't what we expected. Because normally an airline gets into an agreement like this after you've started flying, not way before you've started flying. And finally, for me, when earlier in the year, an incredible 3-1 victory against Riyadh, and it was just the most wonderful, wonderful afternoon or evening in Madrid. It'll stay with me forever, because you've seen some of the imagery on the screen earlier on. When that goal went in, I had tears in my eyes. And I don't mind admitting that, because it comes back to the passion and the excitement of sport that unites communities, connects cultures, and takes a story to the world. And that's what commercial aviation's about as well. So I think we've got so much in common and almost nothing that we don't have in common. This is a really important partnership for us.
Was good for the Atlético Madrid supporters, but not for the Real Madrid supporters. Sorry. Okay, Miguel Ángel, what has this agreement brought to Atlético Madrid? What is the values that shows to the brand Atlético Madrid?
At the beginning at the end is related with my passion and my point of view about how Atlético Madrid should keep growing. My obsession is to be global, and of course we are doing a good job about the team performance. We are in the top 10 in the last 12 years in the UEFA ranking, but we had some. We are in India before in Kolkata, in Atlético de Kolkata. We won 3 championships or 4. We stayed in Kolkata during 4 years. Now we are working with Tata Group. It's a huge group, and we develop an academy there, and in Spain as well with Indian kids. We are in China with Wanda Group. We are in Mexico with a football franchise, Atlético de San Luis. We are in Canada as well with Atlético de Kolkata, the capital of Canada. And in the South America and Europe, we are well known. The first one due to the players, and second one due to our team performance. But we never had any experience here in Middle East, and for us was a big challenge to do it, and to do it with the best possible partner. And I'm sure we take the right decision joining in this amazing journey with Riyadh Air. Atlético today is a club with a great history. Our foundation was in 1903, almost 60 million followers, more than 140,000 members, nice facilities with a high technology to create different nice experiences. But at the end, the most important for me is try to work together with you to interact, every Atlético followers at the beginning, but in the future, every football followers with Riyadh Air to create experiences, to travel and to live a life, the experiences every people is looking for.
Okay, Tony, what has been the impact for agreement to Riyadh Air? First of all, I don't know if it's available, another video of Riyadh Air about some tests. No, there are no, sorry, this afternoon is not so good. But Tony, what has been the impact of the agreement for Riyadh Air?
So I think, as I mentioned earlier, the impact's been immense for us. I referenced the employment side of it, first and foremost, but we've got 365,000 people following us on social media every day. We got more coverage in social media last month at the Dubai Air Show than everybody else put together. And that's not just about what we think are incredible liveries that we've been revealing of our 2 aircraft, and they're designed to stand out in a crowd. They're designed to demand an explanation. Why do you look more like a billionaire's private jet, a G700 or a G650, than a regular commercial airliner? And the answer to that is because the brand is Riyadh, the brand is Riyadh, the brand is Riyadh. It's special, it's modernistic, and it's talking to the ambition that the kingdom's got. But the alignment of brand with Atlético, I think, is consistent and supportive of that for the values that I described before: passion for attention to detail, digital and environmental. But I give another example. At the Dubai Air Show, we also released our first ever EV car deal, electric vehicle with Lucid. Their stock price went up 6% the day after, because it was linked to what we're trying to do with the brand is Riyadh. Of course, since then, probably everybody will be aware that the 2030 Expo has been awarded to the kingdom and will be presented in Riyadh. 2034 World Cup within the kingdom. The power of this word, Riyadh, will continue to build and continue to build and continue to build. But I think a big part of that is the contribution of how Atlético was already supported in that. And I was in California the week before last with the chief executive of Lucid Cars, and he said our share price went up 6% in a day after what you guys did at the Dubai Air Show. And he said, thank you very much. I'll be honest with you, I wish I'd have figured it out. I would have made sure I was in the week before, but there you go, no fool like an old fool. But joking aside, I actually said to him, you should also thank Miguel Ángel as well, because Atlético were part of how we presented in the Dubai Air Show as well. So you wouldn't expect to see a sporting club brand presented at an air show. You wouldn't normally expect to see an EV automotive release at an air show. But it was three brands that were presenting an obsessional attention to detail with performance and experience, a real digital thought leadership, and an environmental responsibility. The combination of it was greater than the individual parts, in our opinion. And that's why, for us, this relationship, super important.
Okay, Miguel, my first question, I feel that this agreement is special for you, for family reasons or something like this. What is thinking? Please explain us.
It's because my father was the mayor of Marbella. Marbella is a very nice city in the south of Spain, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has an amazing palace during this period. King Fahd was the king of the kingdom, and they both had a very nice relationship. I had a watch here. Very nice. It's a present from my father. It's the image of King Fahd, my father's name. That's very nice. And my father.
Quítate el micrófono.
Sí.
Yeah.
My father.
No. Wait.
Green egg.
No, wait, Miguel. A microphone is preferable to listen you better.
I don't know how to say in English the Arab sword is dagger, or
Yeah,
he created
the safe.
a very nice dagger in a big green plot down of the palace, and the king invited him to come to Saudi Arabia to visit him, and when he came here, he gave this watch, and I have very nice memories because my father always spoke the best things about the king, and I feel because every time when the king went to Marbella, always he invited to my father to his palace to spend some time together, and I had in my mind always these nice memories.
Good, very good news. But I don't know if the next gift for the rest of the clients of Riyadh is to give a present and a gold watch. Okay.
This is the sword. You can see the picture.
What's that?
The palace is on the top, and down is the.
This is Marbella.
Beautiful.
Good. And I don't know if it's so special for you because you don't have a gift, but it's so special, this agreement, because I think it's the first agreement done by Riyadh Air with another third brands. Can you explain what is really only Atlético Madrid or will be continued with another brand associations?
So I think perhaps, as I've already mentioned, brand building is about engagement, it's about building excitement, it's about narrating a story, a promise, and calibrating expectation. And for us, the brand associations that we want to have need to be consistent with the values that I described before. And the most important one I think we will ever do is this one. Because of this gentleman, as I've already mentioned before, because it's Atlético, but because it was actually our first one. And because it was our first one, we'll never forget this. The history book that's being written for the new national carrier, this will be in some of the first pages in the first chapter. And hopefully, inshallah, this will be a history book that will become even more complete over time. We will align ourselves with other brands in the same way that I'm sure perhaps it will be beneficial and valuable for other brands to be aligned with ourselves. We will connect to well in excess of 100 cities all around the world. That will be from 2025, 20 cities a year will be rolling out. And to put that in perspective, Qatar Airways and Emirates, both of which I admire endlessly, that took them well in excess of a decade to 15 years. We'll have to do it in 5. So it'll be about narrating, it'll be about exciting, it will be about giving brand expectation in the Far East, in Central Asia, the Indian subcontinent, Africa, Europe, North America, and South America. The great thing about the Atlético brand is it is a global brand. And I feel that I owe Atlético at least as much back as they've generously already given to us in the way in which we take that brand of Atlético to the 100+ cities all around the world, that those liveries that I described before will be standing out in a crowd and will become instantly recognizable as the brand is Riyadh. But the brand is Riyadh over time will become synonymous also with its sporting connections with Atlético and everything that stands for.
And the last question for both at the same time. First of all, Miguel Ángel, what is the present and the future of this agreement for Atlético Madrid and for Riyadh too?
Okay, it's important to understand that it's not one more agreement. For me, it's one side the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh and Riyadh Air. Another side, Spain, Madrid, and Atlético de Madrid. And I'm sure Madrid and Riyadh today are not just the capital, are important city with a great development, and maybe will be in a very short future the capital of entertainment, the capital of sport, of culture, and the city to place, to visit, just to enjoy and to live different kind of experiences. Now we are starting to work with Riyadh Air, and our idea is to work together in different kind of programs about sustainability. We are developing a new sport and leisure city around the stadium. Is more than 1 million square meters around the stadium, and the idea is to create a neutral emission city, and we are working on that. Another kind of program we can work together is about the academy. We want to do some international program like we are working today with India through Tata and with Wanda in China. The idea is to can bring here with our academy project and work with Saudi kids, and the same send some kids from here to our academy to exchange experience. Another program we would like to develop is about women. Women's football are growing a lot, and we have 18 teams, a very strong first team, and the idea is put our knowledge and every development we made before at your disposal to can develop here in the kingdom different kind of women's football programs. And last one, for me, is one of the most important, is about the corporate social responsibility. We created a very nice project. The name is We Love Football, and it's about values, not just the sport values, it's life values. And we started in Madrid, now we are growing in the whole country in Spain, and the idea is to create a worldwide project that is very, very nice. And just to finish, before to say thanks, we are going to come back in January to play the Spanish Cup in Riyadh against Real Madrid next January 10th. And the idea is to keep growing, to keep working together. We are going to play the next World Cup 2026, and Atlético has a team in Canada and in Mexico, two of the three countries in North America. We are working as well with our partners, Iris Group in US, and the idea is try to develop Riyadh during this World Cup together. The next one will be in Spain, where our stadium will host some World Cup games, and finally in Saudi Arabia in 2034. So I'm sure we are going to keep in touch, to work together and to develop both brands. And about the Expo in 2030, I don't know, but I'm sure we are going to be here with you.
The first round of this final Spanish Super Cup here in Riyadh will be between Real Madrid and Atlético Madrid. Fly Emirates against Riyadh, they're good, no?
And the final will be between Atlético and the winner between Barça and Osasuna.
Okay, clear. Tony, something more to upload?
So again, slightly different. An audience like this probably knows infinitely more than I will ever appreciate about the power of sport, and in particular football. I was in China about 2 months back, and we did a media roundtable in Shanghai and a media roundtable in Beijing, and perhaps 20 or so journalists, Chinese journalists in both of them. And one of the questions that I asked them was, tell me, what do you know about the brand Riyadh? And tell me, what do you know about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? And they all went, Cristiano Ronaldo. He live in Riyadh. The power of football, the power of sport. Now, the parallel to that is, which you may not be aware of, is up to now this year, which is of course almost over, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, from a tourism destination point of view, is the second most internet searched in the world. Second most in the world. Now, who would have thought that a number of years ago? And of course, it's a function of the incredible transformation within the kingdom, the clarity of its ambition under the wisdom of His Royal Highness, and how that is now being clearly articulated in many different ways, not least of which trillions of dollars being invested into global destination attractions. NEOM, Red Sea Global, Alula, but of course Qadiyah, a world-class sporting and entertainment city. And what you're doing in Madrid, very similar. It represents and presents a really exciting global proposition, which is already the second highest internet searched in the world. But of course, the question many international people then ask themselves is, how do I get there? And of course, as well as Saudi, the answer in the future will be Riyadh. The brand is Riyadh. The brand is Riyadh. The brand is Riyadh. But who's it associated with? Red, white, and blue. You.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much. This is one of the most important branded contracts in Spain for the next few years with Saudi Arabia, and we will keep in touch for the next exhibition stage. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody, and thanks for your people of World Football Summit working very hard for this afternoon. Thank you very much.